been a little bit. It's been a couple weeks since we've recorded now that we have a few episodes out.
Times like this has been something that I've said about 100 times the last couple days, but time's been going really weird for me, so it doesn't feel like it's been that long.
Your time has been off. You've been like, oh, this happened 3 weeks ago and it was last week, or this happened last week and it actually happened like 2 months ago. Your time has been weird. I don't know what's happening with you.
The seasons are changing. Everything's starting to get dark. It's getting cold. I'm outside for my work, and so everything's just kind of blending together a little bit, and I'm freezing, and so it just
Well, with
smashes everything
daylight savings and the holidays coming up, I feel like that kind of plays a factor into it. I think that kind of messes a lot of people up for at least a little while. I know my time's been weird, but not like yours.
Mine's been really bad.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we're back. We're back for another episode. This one's a little bit different than what we've done before. And you were kind of stressing about it because I told you needed to prepare a story for today because today's going to be a bring your own story day. So you get to read.
I get to read a story, and I kind of forgot I actually legitimately am going to be reading it because you don't have my story. I have my story. So this is going to be a new experience for me. I'm actually kind of excited to see how this goes, but
I'm excited to react because usually I have a rough idea to what is going on with my stories and how I'm going to be reading it. But I'm very curious to be on the other side of it and listening to your story and what you found.
I'm really hoping that I don't screw the reading up.
The reading's hard.
I'm sure, yeah. To be able to read ahead, not flub your words.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people think I can't read, which, I mean, partially true. I'm not a great reader, but...
You're a better reader than you are at math.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's so encouraging. Well, I guess I'll go first just to kick it off on the right edge,
You gotta show me how it's done.
I'll show you how it's done and then you can go.
Okay.
I have full faith in you, though.
I'm hopeful.
Okay. Well, mine aren't terribly long, but we'll do this one first, and then we'll do yours next, and then I'll have one more.
It's good.
Okay. So mine is under Ask Reddit. This is just a story that someone shared, and it's not their personal experience, but it's from someone that they really trust. So this is just what they got from this other person. For some background, he lived with his parents, and his home was in a pretty secluded, but nearish to the suburbs area at the time, and his mom was home with him, and she was in the shower at the time of this occurrence. So the story goes that he was sitting in his room with a window open during his regular relaxing thing, when from outside of the house he heard his mom call out from the outside, asking him where he put the shirt he had borrowed from her. He didn't borrow such shirt, and he replied by saying such. He thought it was weird that his mother was outside asking about a shirt, but he wrote it off. He looked at his window and couldn't see his mother anywhere, so he got up out of his room and realized that the water was still running in his parents' shower. Weirded out, he went downstairs and called out for his mom, and her voice answered from behind the shut and locked front door. He says that her voice was very sweet and tender, using a tone that she would have used when he was little, when she asked him, "Annan, please let me in." And then he says he heard the water shut off from the shower, as then the sounds of claws rolling down the front door could have been heard as the voice of his mother could have been heard from behind the door again, asking to be let in. Followed immediately by, "Annan, I love you." And with the sounds of claws rolling still being heard, he very quickly backed away from the door and went upstairs to retrieve his revolver. But as soon as he came back downstairs, the voice and the rolling claws were gone. No trace, nothing of who or what it could possibly have been.
Are you opening that door?
Fuck no!
What? You were
Fuck
near.
no! Absolutely not. Thank God, because I feel like some people in other movies, they'd be like, "Oh, let's open the front door and see what it is." Absolutely not. Thank God he did that.
At the very worst, I might turn the light on and stick, my eye through the peephole.
Yeah, I would probably do that, but honestly, I'd be too scared that something would be looking back at me.
Yeah, that would be my concern. Something's gonna jump out of the peephole right in front of my face and scare me. So my big thing, yeah, I would go and pull myself in somewhere and try and find a nice, safe, secluded area that's defensible and go get a gun or a knife.
I would just shit my pants and end it right there. No, absolutely not. But funnily enough, I've had a similar experience to this.
You've had a similar thing.
Yeah. But like, mine wasn't claws rolling on the door, like the scratching, Mine, I was downstairs with my siblings and I heard my mom call for me upstairs, like how she normally does if she needs one of us.
Mhm.
So I ran upstairs. I didn't see her. I'm like, well, what the heck? Maybe she's in her room and she just went there. I check her room. Not there. She's not in any of the bathrooms, not in the kitchen. I'm like, well, where the heck is she? And I go to the garage. She's not even home.
Well, that's concerning.
Yeah, she wasn't even home at this time, and I heard it plain as day. I didn't question it 1 minute. I didn't even know she was gone.
I wonder.
It was plain as day. She called my name from the top of the stairs. So I get this person and be like, wait, what the heck? And then you go see.
I mean, I can relate to it because I've heard stuff in the past before too, but it's not like, oh, continuous calling and then
Yeah, the continuous is creepy. That it continuously kept calling for you. That's terrifying. But that's so weird that it almost held like a conversation.
Mhm.
Like, where's that shirt? Like, what?
Yeah,
like, where does it come up with that? It's trying to entice
fishing.
you. That's gross. That's really gross. I don't like that.
I don't.
That's so creepy.
The second you said the claws on the door, I started to get like shitties.
And that's what some people commented. They're like, oh my God, like I started tearing up from straight fear from this because it's so crazy.
Well, I'm picturing myself in this scenario and like sitting at home, there's nothing else is going on, and you just like
Claws? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would run out of the house crying.
well, you can't run out of the house because the thing's outside the house.
Oh my
You
God.
can't open the door.
I don't even know what I
You have
do.
to run like deeper in the house after having locked all the doors and turned on all the lights.
I'd lose my mind.
Mhm.
I would lose my mind. I think I'd call
be
the
getting
cops.
a phone call.
Yeah. I'd call you and then tell Paige to call the cops because something's there. I don't even know what I'd do.
Mhm.
Throw some holy water at that bitch. I don't know.
Sprinkle.
I was gonna say
Squirt
just
gun.
dump it on my head. Nerf squirt gun. Pew pew. Come at me, bitch. I'm gonna get a Nerf water gun full of holy water.
I love it. That might need to be an investment.
Honestly, that'd be so fun though. Pew pew.
So we're gonna smudge the house, and then we're gonna get our little holy water squirt gun loaded, and then we're gonna be okay.
Well, when you're creepy at night and talking in your sleep, I'm just go and spray you with the spray bottle. Just in case, for good measure.
It'll be like a cat, just like water.
You're never gonna sleep talk again.
I'm not
Perfect.
gonna sleep. Between the dog laying on my feet and you spraying me with a water bottle, I'm just gonna be up 24/7. Who needs sleep anyway? You're more productive. If
Yeah,
you're
it's
laying
fine.
all the
You don't
time.
ever need to sleep.
Mhm.
You wouldn't ever sleep after this.
No, I probably wouldn't. Well, considering we're talking about going to sleep, overnights, everything like that, I want to bring up a segue here and kind of briefly talk about your experience almost bashing my head into the middle of the night.
Oh,
And I kind of want to talk about my story.
oh boy.
So, how about you give a little bit of context as to your experience with your dream and what'll happen there?
So, a few nights ago, I was having a dream, and normally, like, I'm not someone that acts out my dreams as they're happening. I'm not super, like, I don't move a whole lot. It's whatever. I might make a face during a dream or, like, cry in my sleep, like, typical things, but I don't typically move a whole lot. Well, I was in my dream and I got with this fight with someone over something they said, and it really pissed me off. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking hit him. So I remember pulling my arm back and I was about to punch as hard as I could. And I woke up in the middle of my punch and I realized I was waking up and I punched the bed so hard right next to your head. And then you turn over, you're like, what was that? And honestly, that was so funny to me because I had to look you dead in the eye and tell you I was fighting somebody and then almost hit you in the process.
I was dead asleep. I'm laying there and I like it just rolled over, and all I hear is like, I'm like, Did something fall? Like, did Cal knock something over? Nope, just Shay almost punched me in the head for no reason.
How confused would you have been, though, if you just got punched in the middle of the night?
I'd be very confused. Actually, OP had a very similar experience.
Oh boy.
To this. So as I'm going into this, I wanna read the title here first. It's called "My Husband Tried to Kill Me in My Sleep."
Oh no.
So a little bit of role reversal, but we're gonna leave that as the premise here.
Oh my goodness.
We went to a ghost hunting tour 6 to 8 years ago and did some of our own investigation in an old cemetery. Since we've never done this before, it's like going to war without carrying weapons. Long story short, my husband saw a shadow figure hiding behind a tree, and he started freaking out and yelling, "Something's following us! Run!" Weeks or months passed. Dead time, around 3 to 4 a.m. I'm sleeping and I feel a pain around my neck, and my left leg feels like something was trying to break it into pieces. I woke up thinking I was dreaming, but I wasn't. My husband's arm was around my neck, doing a headlock on me, and his legs were trying to break. His his legs are trying to break mine. That's worded funny. Anyway,
Interesting.
I tapped his arm to let go, but instead it had gone tighter and tighter until I couldn't barely breathe. All I can think of is this man that I married is trying to kill me, and I'm not going to die without a fight. So I rammed my elbow in his rib, and the next thing I know, he yelled, "Ow! What's happening?" I jumped off the bed and yelled, "If you're trying to kill me while I'm awake, so at least I have a fighting chance, you fucking coward. Let's go." Blurred, he asked, "What did I do?" "You were choking me. You tried to break my leg." "Sorry, hon, I didn't mean to. I just I got the shadow figure that I saw in that cemetery. It was trying to pull me into this black portal that looks like a wormhole. I told it that you're taking me in there and I'm going to kill you first. I'm really sorry, honey." With that, I didn't accept his excuse. All I can think of is trying to kill me again. He's lying to me, everything like that. I slept away from him that night. At least if he does it again, I have more of an advantage that way than facing him. He loves ghost hunting. I'm not, but I love hearing the history of the places, especially things during the Civil War. His history is now against mine, or his theory is now against mine. He's thinking it's just a bad dream. Spirits or demons can actually follow you home. He believes professionals. Wow. He believes professionals. This is such a bad sentence. He believes professionals more than me. I used to be a Wiccan. I have seen things that he hasn't seen before. He's not a skeptic either. He wanted to go on another ghost tour and another one until I said stop. We will end this now because you are already being attacked and you're not getting the message. We attended a panel discussion with the guys from Ghost Hunters. Oddly, someone asked the same question. Can spirits follow you home after ghost hunting? And the cast said yes. I looked at my husband and I told him, what did I tell you? Why can't you believe a word that I'm saying? And it happened again. He grabbed me in his sleep, but this time I was awake. I woke him up carefully. I don't know where his spirit is, but he had to come back carefully. Another attack happened again, something like pinning him in bed and closed his mouth. I took his hand and recited the Lord's Prayer. It's always the same shadow figure. He woke up and tells me, "Thank you, hon." That thing was pulling me into the portal again. And then I hear your voice and I see you reaching out to me, and I grabbed your hand and that woke me up. "What were you saying?" And she proceeds to tell him the Lord's Prayer. I could see that you're in need. We went to church to have him blessed, and trust me, we go to a Catholic church every Sunday. Then another attack. So, again, it's repeating. This time he said he saw Jesus Christ reaching for his hand, and I woke him up again. Then I met an online friend. Lucky me, he's a Roman Catholic knight. He told me what to do. He said to smudge the inside of the house. And sorry to say this, but you might have to do this every month for the rest of your life. If you don't do this, I have a feeling possession is next. I'll teach you. So they continued to smudge the house, and it stopped. If my schedule of smudging is getting close, one of us will have a nightmare, including my dog. With my dog, he's either growling in his sleep or crying. I already know he was being attacked by something, and he's seeing something, usually staring at the ceiling or in the bathtub. All that will stop each time I smudge the house. And yes, I do this for the rest, or I will do this for the rest of my life. Demons feed on fear. Always remember that. Gone through a lot of hell. Demons are the least of my worries. Yes, it's a low-level demon that wants my husband. He wants to possess my husband so he can have a meat suit. Not my, not on my watch, you will. But you can try and fail again. It's been almost 4 years, but I think he hasn't had a nightmare. Or it's been almost 4 years, I think, that he hasn't had a nightmare. I'm just waiting for another opportunity. But I'm not letting my guard down. If he doesn't stop bugging my family, I'm not stopping either. Uh, yes, I think this is the scariest paranormal encounter I've ever experienced. And yes, I do have more weird stories that I will share soon. So we could
Wow.
potentially go back and I can try and find this OP's channel. But could you imagine, like, over and over, smudging, being blessed, like everything like that,
Wow.
constantly just having to like wake me up in the middle of the night to stop me from trying to kill you and like grab you.
That's terrifying. That poor couple. I can't imagine having to go through that. Like, how terrifying would it be to wake up to someone trying to kill you?
Like the
Especially your husband.
I was about to say, the person that you like trust the most in the world to all of a sudden just like without their control start attacking you and like not be able to know like what's gonna happen with that. Like
He had to have been on the verge of possession. There's no way.
mm,
You have to. When you're having that many nightmares and attacks to the point where you're acting out and trying to kill someone in your sleep, dude could have been in jail for murder.
mm-hmm. Yeah, think about that. Like if that actually would have succeeded and he hadn't woken up or something, like
I'm just so in shock by it. That's just insane to me. Like it does show that this stuff is dangerous. You don't mess with it.
so now I need to be on watch and we need to keep all sharp things away from the bedroom. Because
I
I'm gonna wake up and there's gonna be a knife in the mattress, like 2 inches from
no,
my head.
I'm not that bad. It's very, very rare that I actually act out my dreams, and that's the first time I've ever had violence in my dreams like that.
Didn't you say there was like 2 or 3 other dreams that night though?
Yeah, there was three that night. There was three times in the same night, which I don't normally act out my dreams that I actually acted out. The first one was the punch.
Mhm.
The second one, I was running from something, and I woke up and my arms were swinging like you're running, and then my legs were kicking. Then the third one, I don't remember what I was doing, but it was physical activity of some sort. And I woke up with just deep, heavy breathing. I was like you typical mom, like you wake your mom up in the middle of the night. She was like that whole thing.
Gas.
Yeah, like that was weird. I could feel myself starting to move like my dream. So it was really weird. I don't know what that night was. Like, cause like I was not scared at any point during that night. But they were just so, I don't know, they were just so weird.
Mhm. Yeah, I wanted to do that one just specifically because of that encounter that we
Mhm.
had and like how well we related to it. There was a whole bunch of
Yeah.
other ones I was scrolling through talking about like sleep paralysis stuff. I kind of delved into the sleep side of things, but that was by far like kind of the most interesting one related to what we've
Mhm.
actually experienced recently. It was a little difficult sentence structure wise. They weren't the best like written author,
It's
but
fine.
I like I said, I tried to get through it. So I'm sorry if that was a little rough out there, but
No, it was fine. You did good. You did good. Reading out loud is hard.
oh
Thank
yeah,
God I'm not in class doing popcorn anymore. That's terrifying.
see that's scary. That's not paranormal, but that's scary.
It's terrifying.
I used to practice the sentence ahead of time. Like
Mhm.
I count heads to know which paragraph I'm gonna get, and then I would read my paragraph over and over to make sure that I had it, and like I'd start to like verbalize it almost. And that way, when it got around to my turn, I would mess it up so bad. I always messed
Same.
it up a little bit.
Same. I was always really nervous. If I had a big word, I would just prepare to be like, I don't know that word, so someone could help me, and I'd have to
You
like
just
stumble
cop
through it.
out.
Yeah, I'd cop out. I didn't want to fumble through it because I feel like I'm in kindergarten again when I'm pronouncing word like you like sound it out. I feel like I'm in kindergarten again, so I don't like doing it.
I was a really big reader in like middle school and that kind of stuff, so I
Yeah.
tended to pick up all the words.
Yeah, I wasn't until my adult life.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyways, I have one more story.
You got one more?
Yes, we got one more. And I'm kind of excited about this one. I found it a while back, but I couldn't find an episode that I wanted to throw it in. And I thought this would be a good fit.
Awesome.
Something is not right in my house, and I'm getting scared. I don't really know where else to go with this story. I feel like when I try to tell people, they're silently judging me for what I'm saying. This has been going on for close to a month now, and I'm honestly getting scared enough to the point I want to move. About a month ago, I managed to find a new rental house to live in. I had previously lived with a roommate, but when she got married, I moved out. The market is horrible, but I was able to find a 2-bedroom rental house for pretty cheap. It's pretty big, with very spacious yard, and lucky enough to find it. After a few days, I got the impression that something wasn't right. I just got the impression that I wasn't alone. You know the feeling that you get when you have your eyes on you and stuff? Like, no matter which room I was in, I always felt like there was something staring at me.
I don't like that.
As with other moves I've had all the locks changed. I don't chance a previous resident trying to get in. Also, I have a Ring doorbell camera because the house is about a mile off the main road. So if somebody comes over unannounced, I want their faces documented. It was about a week in when the activity in the house really started. I would come home to find cabinets and drawers open. As far as the cabinets go, there didn't seem to be any food taken or anything like that, just open cabinets. Also, nothing really seemed to have actually been gone through. I did stay with my boyfriend for a couple of days, though, after this happened because I was too scared to stay alone. Next thing I noticed was a severe temperature change. The house would be extremely cold despite not touching the thermostat. I would have to grab sweatpants and a jacket. Then it would become so hot that I would basically have to get down to my bra and underwear to stay cool. It was extremely uncomfortable. I had this looked at, but nothing was found wrong with my air/heating system. What got me the most was one night I was watching TV, and suddenly I heard a loud noise coming from behind me in the kitchen. I was extremely startled. When I saw what had happened, I noticed that it was a full container full of my cooking utensils that had been knocked to the floor. I was frozen with fear. I called my boyfriend to come stay with me for the night until he got here. I just sat on the couch and cried. I didn't know what else to do. My boyfriend and one of his friends did a sweep of the house and found nothing. Nobody could have entered. I have an attic, which is all checked. There was simply no way of entering the house. Even my windows are painted shut. Since that one night, I have been finding myself waking up between 2 and 4 a.m. every night. No particular reason, but when I'm awake, I'm fully awake, almost as if I hadn't gone to sleep at all. Also, when I've been sleeping, I wake up to hear extremely loud noise. This usually comes as a door slamming or something being thrown. I did once walk into the living room to find a picture frame knocked over and a lamp on its side. When this kind of stuff happens, I usually just sit there and try to regain my composure. If this is indeed something sinister, I don't want it to see me afraid. The main reason I'm typing this out is because yesterday I found a little purple bag tucked away in my closet. I almost had a panic attack when I found it because I once again had no clue as to what it was. I've just been a nervous wreck lately. The bag looked like it had been hand sewn. Inside were just a few little rock fragments, some ashes. It would look to be maybe seashells. I didn't even want to think about what it could have been, so I dumped it into the trash and tore the seams of the bag. I didn't really know what else to do with it. I don't know if it's some weird voodoo bag that's been causing the issues, but I wasn't chancing it. If that didn't work, then I'm just going to say screw my security deposit and get the hell out of this house.
It's a voodoo bag. Aren't you not supposed to touch those things?
Not with your bare hands.
I don't like that.
Oh my gosh.
So whatever it is that's manifesting, that's just like opening and closing cabinets.
Well, that's some
like
pretty active stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's not minor stuff. Minor stuff is small noises and, like, things just being off and, like, the feeling like you're being watched. I've had that, and it's very unsettling. I feel like that's not something that gets brushed off a lot, but I've had it, and it's terrifying. It's so scary. I can't stand it. But that poor girl, just things constantly being thrown and pushed over. That's some serious activity. That's not something small.
That's aggressive for sure. And I would be very hesitant to continue to live in that spot.
You don't think I could?
Personally, like, I don't like when my stuff is moved in general. Like, if I put my phone down somewhere And then you see it, oh, Connor wants his phone over here. And then I go looking for my phone. Then I'm like, what the heck is going on? And it takes me 20 minutes to find it because my looking skills are awful.
They're terrible.
They are. Now imagine if that happens, but I can't just ask somebody where the thing went because a ghost moved it.
Well, that's just it. She lives alone. There's no one else moving that. Things only move if she makes a move. So when you find things out of place and moving, there's no reason for it. There is no reason for that.
My only thought is if there's some sort of like a pocket door somewhere with like, like a little escape room or something. Like somebody's just living in the walls.
But why would something fall from right behind her? You turn around, nothing's there. That's just so weird. But they checked the attic, which is good.
I wonder if the whole house is just graded poorly.
Oh yeah, that's it.
It just the door's
just a slant
open because it's you stick a marble on the ground, it just shoots to the wall.
Yeah, like a whole 25-degree incline. It's fine.
Yeah, she's just living in the sideways, like.
Yeah, that's it. There's your problem. We figured it out. Look at us.
Good luck, OP. I'm glad that we figured it out for you.
We figured it out. They can move on, and now they don't have to do anything about it. It's done. We figured it out. Don't be scared. Problem solved. No, but that poor girl. I feel really bad. I'd move out. I would not deal with that. But I'm honestly really surprised that she doesn't mention anything about nightmares, because I feel like when people are living in a paranormal house or building, they typically have weird stuff happen at night.
But those are typically people who are like sensitive to it. We've talked about like if you're sensitive to things, like I'm not sensitive to stuff. So I could walk into a room and feel squat and then just start having stuff happening around me and try and rationalize and be like, oh, whatever. Dog must have knocked the door open. Oops. Like I would just rationalize stuff and not have any issue with it because I'm not going to get creepy vibes necessarily. Like, it's only when people are describing what they're experiencing that I'm really like, okay, yeah, this is messed up. Like,
yeah.
But if it's just like, oh, I must have left my cabinet open making dinner. Oops. Like, I would do that.
One of the commenters mentioned her getting cameras and putting them up in her house. I think that would be really useful. Especially if she got some thermal ones, just to see what's going on and try and
do a little mini investigation.
Well, and it doesn't hurt. You only get
security.
Yeah, you either get more information or you just have an additional security thing, which never hurts.
It's a win-win.
Yeah, and if you find something weird on it, then you know to get the fuck out. It just solidifies it.
Well, there you go.
That's what I would do. I think that's a really good idea. I think they have a really good point on that. Well, I think that's all we have for today, but I really liked these. I think these are really interesting stories.
I thought they were interesting stories and they had some very different premises. It wasn't like one overarching theme today, which kind of like let's dip and dive and meander a little bit through some different topics.
Yeah, I really like doing this. I think the bring your own story is kind of fun. I hate to say it, I might make you do it again.
I'll have to try and find another like decent one. I'll have to read through it a little bit more carefully and try and find somebody who authors a little more so that way I'm not struggling to read quite as bad, so that way you're not struggling to listen. But
we'll have to get you in some good subreddits just so you can find some good stories. Because I have a few that I really like.
I'm still a fledgling Reddit user. I'm still very new. So if anybody has any Reddit suggestions, please send them my direction.
Yes, how to navigate Reddit. It is a different system.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It's very different. But I like it. I think there's a lot of interesting things on there.
What I found I've liked. I just have trouble finding stuff.
Reddit's coming in clutch. We love Reddit.
We love Reddit.
The beauty of Reddit. Well, but yeah.
On that note, off we go.
Yeah, that's all we got. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.